section is going to focus, we'll tell you about an upcoming event that we're going to have that will be virtual, related to housing, as well as we'll take time to answer your many questions. And I see that there's already questions in the chat, so don't worry, we will get to those questions as well. Okay, so one event that we host every year, and we always enjoy it, is the Manny's Polar Packing Party. If you don't know, Manny is our mascot. And so during this packing party, we tell you all about what to bring, what not to bring. We also raffle off some prizes for your dorm room. So definitely look out for that. We will share the dates to that over the summer. And for our SES students, we are also going to have a move-in prep meeting where we talk about how you prepare for moving in for the summer. Okay, and so finally, we are going to turn it over to you so you can ask any questions that you have related to housing. I'm going to stop sharing my screen just so that we can all see each other. But before I do, I want to point out our email address, and this is found on our website as well. But as we ask questions, if there's something that you think about later after the session, you can definitely email us. I would say right now we're getting a lot of questions because there's so many students who are newly admitted and interested in housing. So just it may take maybe a day or two for us to get to your question, but we do value them all. So I'll stop sharing now and we'll turn it over to you to ask questions.
Well, first, April, I did answer a few questions while you were speaking. I answered one specifically about Matthew talked about do we offer kitchenettes for students who have dietary restrictions or another place where they can cook or prepare dinner. I answered Matthew and I said we do offer medical accommodations, like April just said, also for people with dietary restrictions. So please make sure you fill out that form while applying for housing. What did Dorit ask, can freshmen choose their meal plan or are they obligated to have a particular one? Freshmen can choose whatever meal plan they see fit for themselves. Can you change your meal plan at meal plans in a semester? No, you cannot, but you can always add more money to your meal plan during the semester. So that's always important for how to make that decision. And those are the only ones that I answered. Those are the only ones I answered for the time being.
Are there some new questions in the chat too, Michaela?
Can you choose your own roommate? Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So on the application, and I might not have highlighted this when I went over it, but there is a question that asks, do you have someone that you want to live with? They just have to be within your same class year. So freshmen can select another freshman to live with, and it has to be mutual. So on both applications, you have to request each other and we'll match you together. Usually there's no problem with that. I would say the only time there has been a problem with someone not getting the roommate that they asked for is if they're in a different class, and just recognizing that we have floors dedicated to different classes. So freshmen live together. So if you're requesting a graduate student to live with you, then we're not able to accommodate that because graduate students have their own floor as well.
All right. ERES Life, does ERES Life need MSM email and student ID to register when we can get our personal ID and email? Yes, you do need your MSM email to register for ERES Life. That is correct. What is the difference between the economy, premium, and regular single room, April?
Sure. So one thing I'll note, and maybe we have to update the website if you saw something about economy single, or in the application actually. So we do not have the economy single. That was something that was offered this year because we had such a large interest in housing. We did create some spaces where we transformed some practice rooms into single rooms, but we will not be having that this upcoming year. So they'll just be the standard single and the premium single. The difference I would say is some of our premium singles are either bigger in size or some of them are a preferred view. So some of them are maybe on a higher floor and have a great view of the Hudson River.
All right. The official website says that I can only apply for 9 months in the dormitory. So can I still apply to live inside the school for the remaining 3 months? And can I eat on campus during those 3 months?
That's a good question. So housing is provided for the fall semester. So from move-in day, and then students move out during the winter break. I would say, I think this year, winter break began December 20th. So students moved out, and then not moved out completely. Their items are still in their room. So you don't fully move out, but you do leave and go home for the break. If there are students who have to stay on campus, maybe they can't travel back home for the break, then we do have an application for that. You can apply to live on campus during the winter break. And there is a rate for that, and that'll be on our website or emailed to students during that time. So don't worry, you can stay on campus during the winter break if you choose to apply to do that. As far as the spring semester, you come back from winter break and you're still in your same room. So again, you don't have to move out over the break. You just go home if you choose to do so, or travel. And then over the summer, students can choose to pay to stay over the summer, but we also have other opportunities such as summer work for housing. So this is an opportunity where students apply for jobs on campus over the summer, and in exchange for working in a different office on campus, they will have free housing for the summer. So that is an opportunity as well. But unless you are paying to stay over the summer for the full summer, or participating in some of our either work for housing program or student leadership opportunities, then you would move out. And we do have a firm deadline as far as when students have to move out at the end of the semester in the spring. That's a great question. Did I answer everything? Oh, there was a question about can you eat
Can I eat
during
on
the
campus?
breaks?
Yeah. Mhm.
So during the summer break, the cafeteria isn't open at all times. So I think during the month of June, it's closed totally. Sometimes they do open for some of our special programs. And so if it is open, you can go and pay for food in the cafeteria, but we don't have any meal plans over the summer, except for SES. So if you're a SES student, you will have a summer meal plan, and you'll be able to eat in the cafeteria during that program. But that program starts in July. And then during the winter break, the cafeteria is closed. So students will either cook in their room with some of the approved appliances, or they order out during the breaks.
Right. Are there options for vegetarian food in the meal plan? Yes, there are many options for vegetarian and vegan food in the cafeteria every week.
Yeah.
Right. Could you please describe the difference between the 3 meal plans?
Sure. So the biggest difference is in price. And students pay based on how much they think that they're going to eat. So again, if someone is planning to eat more in the meal plan, like they'll spend a majority of their time eating in, in the cafeteria. If they spend a majority of their time eating in the cafeteria, they'll go for the gold meal plan. If they're going to spend less time in the cafeteria and they rather cook for themselves or order out, then they'll go for the bronze meal plan. And then silver is kind of in between. I think I saw a question about, can you change your meal plan? You can. So if you, there is a window of time that you can change your meal plan. It's usually before the ad drop period. So if you even sign up right now during your application process and you pick bronze, but later on during the summer, you decide you want to change, there is a period or window of time that you can go into eRes Life and change your meal plan.
All right. Are there ADA accessible rooms?
ADA accessible rooms. That's a good question. And when you say that, if the person is in the chat, if they can ask, or ask more specifically what they're looking for. I know sometimes people are looking for like maybe a bed shaker. What are you looking for when it comes to that? Because sometimes I think they're able to work with the Office of Student Success in order to get those resources.
It says wheelchair accessible.
Wheelchair accessible. Okay. We have had students who use a wheelchair who live on campus. So when it comes to that, we're able to provide them with some special access to the elevator. So we have a service elevator. We provide access with that. I wouldn't say there are special rooms. I think most of the rooms are similar, but if there were special accommodations that we had to make to the room, I think we're able to work with our facilities office to make those accommodations.
All right, we have a financial aid question. Will the deadlines be extended if the financial aid, the FAFSA, CSS, takes even longer to come out?
The housing application
I'm
deadline?
assuming, yes, I'm assuming that's what that means.
Okay, I would say if you're having trouble, meeting the deadline due to waiting on other offices, definitely, let us know, maybe send our office an email. But I think it doesn't hurt to just apply in advance, and if you change your decision about whether you're coming to MSM or if you're not required to live on campus, um, whether you're changing your decision about living on campus, then you can make those changes. There is a window of time that you can still make changes. And I think I showed that in the application, it talks about the window of time you have to cancel your application.
Right, for the meal plan, can I charge my ID card? Is it the same amount as the meal plan? Maybe, are you asking if you charge food on the ID card? Then yes, your ID card that you get from MSM that looks very similar like this, you would use this and you'd scan, and this is where like your money is on your ID card, and that's how you would pay for your meals in the cafeteria. If that's your question, if correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, if that's not what you're asking. Do we have to be committed by the time to MSM in order to get the email and student ID?
I believe students who confirm are the ones who are receiving the MSM credentials. Is that correct, Peter?
Okay, great.
Yes, that is correct. Sorry, I was on mute.
All right, do you allow students to store items over the summer? Well, actually, right now, we're doing a fun thing called Dorm Room Movers. MSM collaborates with this company. The company provides boxes and storage for MSM. So what happens is that the company sends, you sign up for as many boxes as you need. It almost looks like a U-Haul box of sorts. And you get all the boxes shipped to the dorms. You put all of your things in the boxes that you don't want to like bring home or fly home with or pack or have your parents drive and take it with you. You store everything in these boxes, you keep it in your room, and then the dorm room movers company comes and takes these boxes and puts them in their company storage that we collaborate with. And then they are dropped off back in the fall to your room that you have been assigned in the fall. So it's extremely convenient. So all of your stuff that you had put away in the spring will be back in your new room that you chose for the fall. It is pretty convenient. It's not at MSM, but we've been using this company for years and they're extremely reliable. Is the graduate floor single rooms, April?
So there are some single rooms on the graduate floor, but many students on the graduate floor will also have a double.
Are the rooms on first come, first serve basis?
That's a good question. So yeah, so I think you do want to really be thoughtful about applying on time. We do look at the timestamp a bit as we do make housing assignments, but also we're looking at other factors as well, such as matching roommates together. But we do definitely encourage students to apply on time or as soon as possible.
Will you be emailing a link to view the recording of this webinar?
Yes, we will. So we are going to take time to just organize clips so that they're in smaller bite-sized pieces so that you can click on whether you want to hear more about our amenities or whether you want to review the application process again, and then we'll share those links out.
Okay, let's see. Oh, here we go. If you select a silver or gold meal plan for the fall and have money left over, does that carry over into the spring semester?
That's a great question. So yes, the money on your meal plan carries over to the spring semester, but it does not carry over to the new academic year. So if you have money left over in the spring, you want to use that as much as you can. And sometimes, actually every semester, spring semester, the cafeteria offers opportunities for people to buy things in bulk if they're just trying to use up their meal plan, and then they can take those items home, whether it's like snacks or cases of water. Sometimes people will share their remaining balance with people, so they'll scan their friends in. So yes, that's how that works.
Can I request to room with older students? So can a freshman request to live with a 23-year-old?
I think you can try when it comes to a freshman, if they are themselves are an older student, and sometimes we do have older students who are in their first year, then we do try to match them with someone closer to their age as well.
April, can you repeat the residency app deadline?
Yes, it is May 8th.
Alright. The application notes a cancellation fee after contract. When is the contract day if not the date of the application?
Sure, so the contract is not the day that you submit the application, it's actually the day that you receive your housing assignment. So the timestamp on the email that you receive that says you've been assigned to this room, that is when the contract begins. And so for our people who are not required to live on campus, you have 5 business days to cancel before you are essentially locked into the contract.
Okay. Is there a discount to using meal plan money? For example, $1 on the meal plan actually costs 90 cents versus paying with a credit card.
I think that is true. There is a difference between paying with your meal plan and your credit card. So I don't know exactly that discount, but I believe there is.
So we can only charge the same amount as the meal plan we chose. That is correct. Your meal plan, the bronze or silver, you can only charge the amount that you put on it. That doesn't go over.
But if you want to add more money to it, you are able to do that.
Correct. How do freshman students ship items to the school for move-in?
Sure. So as I mentioned, we're going to have that packing party. And so we'll tell you a bit more as we get closer. But we will send you an email letting you know how soon you can begin shipping your items to campus. When you do ship your items, they will be located in the lobby of Anderson Hall. And once you move in, you're able to pick up those items that you shipped and move them into your room.
Do you know how much it is if you utilize that moving team working with MSM? The price varies depending on how many boxes you need, and the prices of the boxes are on the website. What are the odds of a grad student having a dorm room?
I think many of our grad students live on campus. So the 17th floor is where we house our first year graduate students. And then we have graduate students who live on other floors. So in their second year, they might be applying to live on campus. And so they live on those other floors as well. There are people who end up on our housing wait list. And a lot of times people move off the wait list. And so as people change their mind about things, make different decisions based on their different financial needs or whatever that may be, then we are able to bring people from off the wait list into housing. We also, just as a note, will have a singles wait list. So if you really wanted a single, but you got a double, we will send out a singles wait list and you can be on this wait list and we'll offer a single to people first come, first serve. And there have been many people who have been on that wait list who we move off the wait list.
Is there a place in the residence hall to fill a water bottle with filtered water? Absolutely. They're all over the school as well and in Anderson Hall. And on top of it, New York City has some of the cleanest water in the country, so that's incredible. Do you have pictures of dorm room bathrooms? Are they shared between rooms or individual to the people in that room? There are communal bathrooms on every floor. There's usually 2 toilets, 2 showers on each side. So there's about, so what is it, 2, 4, 6, there's about 8 showers on each floor, if not 4, and 8 toilets on each floor.
That's a good question. So as Makayla was saying, there's bathrooms of each gender on each wing of the floor. And people are able to use the restrooms that align with their identity, as well as we have gender inclusive bathrooms that are single use. So each floor has a single use restroom that they're able to use. And that single use restroom includes a shower, as well as the toilet and sink.
All right, we saw the difference between single room and premium single. That just depends on view, high up, lower down. It's usually the same. It doesn't guarantee bigger or smaller. Is there a separate toilet and kitchen in each dormitory?
No, I believe we answered that one. So we just described our restrooms. So none of the restrooms are in the rooms themselves. They're on the floors, whether you're going to choose to use the communal restrooms or you can use the single-use restrooms on your floor. And then there are no kitchens in the room. We do have the small kitchenette that is on the 6th floor. And a lot of times students do come down there. They prepare food. I know there's one student who every day comes down there and makes different smoothies and beverages for himself, and there are people who come and cook and they eat dinner together in the 6th floor lounge. People can also cook in their room by using approved appliances. So some of them, they're allowed to have air fryers. They're allowed to have certain hot plates, certain cooking devices, and we'll share what's allowed versus what's not allowed, what is not allowed. But people do often cook in their room as well.
Since I'm getting so many questions about meal plans and the cards, I'll just say another example. So this is what like a card looks like. Mine obviously says staff and my employee name and my position. But this, let's say, for example, there's $2,000 on here for a meal plan. You go to the cafeteria, let's say you get a salad, let's say the price is $5. Let's say you want chicken at lunch, let's say the price is $8. Yes, each time you scan it, it decreases from the 2,000. And let's say you run out of the 2,000 for the fall semester around Thanksgiving. You are allowed to add more money to this card through our student accounts office in MSM. So if you do run out after decreasing the value due to the meal you get, you can add more money. Yes.
Another thing to note is that say you start off with a bronze plan during your fall semester and you realize, okay, I've eaten a lot in the cafeteria. I want to increase to a bigger meal plan. During the spring semester, you can change to a silver or a gold plan. Or in reverse, if you have a gold meal plan in the fall and you're like, wait, I have way too much money left over, I don't need this one again, you can switch to a silver or bronze meal plan in the spring.
We do not have dormitories with kitchens. We do not offer kitchens, but we do have approved appliances. We will share that in our polar packing party. We have certain things that have certain burners we approve, sometimes certain air fryers we approve, but not everything we approve. So no, there are no kitchens in Anderson Hall. How many people? Yes, April?
No, go ahead.
How many people share a bathroom and how many people are in each floor?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I believe there are about 42 people on most floors, and that could be a little bit higher or lower. Some of our floors are only half the size, such as our 5th and 6th floor are half the size. So that's typically how many people are on the floor.
There is a microwave in each room. It is on top of your micro fridge. Do you refund money on the card that is not used by the end of the year? And does it reset each year? Does the balance roll over?
No, unfortunately, we do not refund money that is on the card. So we definitely encourage students to try to use their meal plans at the end of the spring semester. It does roll over from fall to spring, but it doesn't roll over from spring to the next academic year. We'll take a few more questions because we are at 8 p.m. So if there are any final questions, we will answer that now. And then people can also feel free to email us and we'll answer any other questions that you might have.
Are there wheelchair accessible bathrooms?
Yes. Are there any final questions?
I think that's about it.
All right.
Thank you so much, April and Michaela. I've added also our admissions email address. If you have any admission-based questions, I know April and Michaela added the email before to get in contact with you both. But if you can add that one more time for folks that joined us late. But I think that concludes our presentation. And thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you, April and Michaela, for a great presentation. Have a great night and feel free to reach out to us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.